Well, we had a red day on our funded accounts, some red, some green. All's not lost. We overall had a decent day, had a good day on some evals, passed a few more accounts, and yeah, so it goes. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. It is Monday, April the 20th, and doing my daily recap here. And really got a little bit kind of sucked into the Dow Jones here as the Dow Jones this morning was breaking and really kind of filling the gap. Let me show you this little gap fill. We had this gap in the overnight Sunday night open, and we had filled that gap, and it really looked to me like we were probably going higher. We had a nice little hold of this area right here, and I took several longs longs trying to get this to go, and it just didn't. And so we ended up with some losses, and basically either down about 300 to 400 per account or up 300. So one other item of note that I want to just point out is I have decided to trade my funded accounts a little bit more like my evals. And so the difference is with evals, I am typically like in this situation, if I'm longing this, I may take a long, somewhere in here, stop loss sitting here. And if the trade comes back against me, I'll add into the trade. I'm not DCAing below the stop loss, but I'm adding into the trade within the defined risk, which then allows me to increase position size while keeping my stop loss at a minimum. And that's what I do with funded or with evals, and I really feel like there's no reason not to do it with funded accounts. And so I've decided to start doing that. And even today, I don't do it all the time. I don't add into every single trade, but I did on a lot of them today. Unfortunately, I just had a lot of losing trades. If you go to TradeZella today, here's the stats down $2,000, only 13% win rate. I think I had one win, but the average win to loss, even if I'm adding in, I'm not losing more money. Average loss 122, average win 311. So nothing to complain there. Just the wins just weren't there today. It felt like we stalled, and then at that point I started to look for downside, and the downside just never came. We just really had kind of a consolidation day. I kind of felt that way a little bit. I also was gone for part of the day. I was gone twice today. I had something I had to take care of right after my winning trade, which was on ES. Notice I took a short right here. You can actually see a couple of these trades. I'll just show you this in detail. But here you can see we finally broke below this area. We had the EMA cross. I took the first entry right here. This was the first entry down low, and as we moved back up, but we didn't go past this area, I added into the trade and then just rode that down and out of there with a $300 win. So that was really nice. But unfortunately, I closed that trade and left my desk, and we pushed back higher, and it took me out there on the last remaining positions, and then we beautifully tested this area and dropped. So I missed the trade of the day because I was gone. That would have been an absolute, and I would have taken that. I'm sure I would have taken that. I mean, I was just textbook. You're having a fake move above, you drop below it, you come back up, retest it, boom. I mean, it doesn't get too much better than that. But anyway, no use crying over spilled milk. We did miss that trade, but that's okay. Also missed this one here on the NASDAQ. This would have been a beautiful reclaim. So you have a sell down below the Friday low of day, and then we push back higher, basically a break and retest and a reclaim of this area, and that really set up the afternoon slow grind higher. So, but I was not here for that. I missed that trade as well. So definitely missed some opportunities today. But again, I am focused on getting these accounts to pay out. And the good news is one of these I've now got 400 in profit. So account number 107, which is a legacy account, is 400 in profit. So that's a win. That's a plus. And that is one that we brought back from somewhere down in drawdown. So that's a good thing. But anyway, again, the losses today, I'm going to try to keep on the funded accounts, try to keep it to $300 to $400, and then I'm stopping for the day because one really good trade more than makes up that amount of a loss. So the $309 win today on this account was an added-in trade, but really didn't get much out of it. Basically about a 1R. In fact, let's just go there. I'll show you that trade. So if we go to the entry here, you can see. This is what that trade looked like. So the first entry was here. On the entry snippet here, it just shows you, puts it all together right here. But this was entry 1. Entry 2 was up here, and so my average entry was sitting right here. And we really only got down to somewhere here before this trade took me out. So really didn't get much out of that trade. I think just a little bit over 1R. Let's scroll down and we'll see. Yeah, right there you can see 1.29. So a little bit over 1R, which is nice, which is good. But again, if I can find a couple of, couple of 2R, trades with this added in strategy, it's really going to make a difference, and we put profits back on the table. So we can make all this back on one really good trade. So that's why I'm not fretting too much about having a red day. Granted, it's been a long time since I've traded all of my funded accounts, and we're up to 13, I think. 2 and 3 is 5, and 8 is 13. Yep. So we have 13 accounts, and so that's another thing that really kind of, hey, all at once we now have a $2,000 red day, and we've been trading in the hundreds of dollars, positive or negative, outside of this day right here. But that's just simply because I'm trading more accounts, and so these numbers are going to get bigger, both in the positive or the negative standpoint. So. But again, big picture today, took a couple of longs this morning here on the take profit accounts, didn't play. And then I did take a couple of shorts in here. I took a short right here. This was a frustrating trade. Let me see if I can pull up which ones that was. I think it might have been 109. No, it was on... Which accounts was it? Why aren't they popping up? There you can see the TPT accounts. I'm sure I had a trade in here. Yeah, there you go. Right here. This was a frustrating trade. Took this short right here. Didn't like it. Killed it. And I really killed it at the top when we did flush a little bit. I could have got out of there with a little bit of profit. Ended up getting stopped out break even. Actually, this is the trade that would have made me green. Right there's the bottom. I remember this now. So there's more to talk about here. So I added into this trade as well. I was in with probably around 10 micros, and my stop, my initial target was here, and I moved it up to right here at these lows. And this wick almost got it, and I should have moved it into profit. At that point, I would have been green on these accounts, and we would have been green on the day. The only losses would have been on the take profits and on the lucid accounts. But I didn't take it because it was so close. I thought, surely we're going to hit it. Well, guess what? We didn't hit it. We ground all the way back up and took me out break even. So that was a very, very frustrating trade, very disappointing trade. And then here I got short again after we failed here, and notice something here. And this is just when you have these sideways days, it can be disappointing or difficult. Here's a high, we have a lower high and another lower high. And so we're seeing this downtrend and just looking like this is going to fall apart. So I took this entry here. And if you look at this, we had some wick candles. There's a big wick rejection, and we started to grind higher. And on the drop back down, this red candle, I added. That's the where I held this trade all through here, finally added here, and then it squeezed higher and took me out. And notice as well, it took me out right here at the highs, like tick stop to the high, and then it rolled back over. So just unfortunate, and you're going to have that. I'm not disappointed. It is what it is. I mean, you're not going to be right all the time. So it's just sticking to the rules and, trading my game plan, and, it is what it is. So we move on. Tomorrow's a new day, and in the afternoon, or after the market closed at 4 o'clock, we did get this push higher. So we'll see what this thing does in the overnight and tomorrow. Moving to the evals. I did pass this account number 615. I also passed this one. This is one that I won in Alpine Stream, so hopefully we can get that one to pay out. And then I had a loss on this top group, but that's fine. So again, just trying to trade a little bit more like I trade these evals, and being okay with some kind of a decent loss, not a huge loss, but being okay with a loss. It's something we can make back in a day. So that's the game plan, and that's where we're at. So that puts us to 10 Apex accounts, and we have our 3 take profits and our 2 lucids. So hopefully we can get those moving for the rest of the week. So anyway, last but not least, don't forget this Apex sale is ending tomorrow. So take advantage of that if you need accounts. Again, using code BCT gets you that 90% off deal. And again, Lucid, that sale is running as well. So thank you for supporting the channel. Thanks for using my code. And hopefully you guys had a good day. Some people like this sideways action that we had today. Not something that I usually trade too well, so not too surprised to have a bit of a red day today. But we'll be back at it tomorrow, and hopefully we can put some green back on the chart. So thanks again for following along. Take care. Until next time, so long.